Okay, it seems everything is working. Hello, everyone. This is Pedro Sacramento speaking. Sorry about what happened on the previous live stream. It seems that my laptop still has those issues. So yeah. Um. Again, I'm going to start with the beginning. So everything started with 9/11. Okay, September 9, 2001. Where was I? I was at home, first of all. And back in the day, I do remember that I was in a summer vacation. At the time, I didn't have any class. So, me and my mom, we were just enjoying the summer vacation like a normal day at the time. Until around 10 and a half a.m., more or less, we ended up seeing a breaking news from um, the Portuguese channel RTP, which uh, told us that there was some terrorist attack that happened in USA. We didn't know what was going on until we saw the towers falling from the World Trade Center. When that happened, I do remember that I was naive at the time. I was a kid. Don't judge me because, yeah, at the time, I didn't have even the clue of what was going on. To be honest, I thought that the entire accident was staged. I thought it was at the time some kind of CGI or even an action movie or something that, you know, I thought it was some kind of series, a criminal series or something, but I never thought it was real. Um, those kind of April Fool's joke. I thought it was something like that, but no. Um, but then something happened. My mom came here, this very room that I stay here. I was watching straight to the television. She was standing next to me, and we saw the news from uh, 10 and a half a.m. to 1 p.m., which was around lunchtime for us around that time. And I do remember that the people in USA were just as confused as those in Portugal. And I do remember that the people who were commenting here, they didn't even know what to say. I mean, everyone just went shocked, speechless, and they began to guess, more or less. And I do remember that they were just guessing, one after the other, and nothing happened. And nothing happened because, again, we couldn't say that it was a terrorist attack and at all. We only knew it was a terrorist attack much later when the news came at 8 p.m. After that, we knew what was going on. But that was much later. I was still naive and couldn't believe it was something serious. That is until I recently saw a documentary who the lost records from that day of the attack, records that showed the conversations between the airlines and the military all together during that fatidic day, that tragic day, and it was completely chaotic. No wonder. At the time, we only had in Portugal, we only had news of two planes hitting the World Trade Center. We didn't know about four in total until much later. Two hitting the World Trade Center, one hitting the Pentagon, and one hitting another place which I don't recall because it wasn't shown in Portugal. Or the only thing that showed were just the twin towers from the World Trade Center falling um, while being on live in Portugal. And in case you may be wondering, I did not know what was going on at all until much later. And then I began to piece everything together and I realized something really terrifying, something that I only realized just a moments ago. And that is this this very same attack was just the beginning of a multiple wave of attacks that would happen in Europe. Um, I do remember that months after the attack in USA, there was an attack on a train in Spain, which killed a lot of people there, and it was a terrorized attack. And months after that one, there was the Great Flames, the Great Fire in 2003 in Portugal, which set ablaze the entire country from north to south, even in where I live. I mean, of course, how can I forget? I saw the flames up close. The flames were surrounding the area here. A complete inferno. The type of inferno that you see from California? Yeah, we had that around that time. And since then, we never learned peace on summer ever since 2003. Every year we had flames, always wildfires here. Every year. It was just it began to feel like a common. It was just as common as people going to the beach. Yep. While people while some people were to the beach, we had to uh, content ourselves with the flames. Um, why are you talking about the Twin Towers? Well, that's because I felt I needed to say something about it because I'm one of those people who saw the accident without being in USA. Like I was one of the people who happened to be watching the television because yeah, I was curious watching the news, wanting to learn more about what's going on in Portugal. And then that breaking news happened about USA, and I mean, it was just pure coincidence. I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know anything about what was going on with USA. So yeah, um, And true, Alex. I mean, we're close to that. We're close to the event, and I want you all to know that I understand that people um, should like remember that day, but they also need to know that such tragedy didn't come alone. And as long as I live, there's something that no one is going to take out of my memory. Is that in 2003, right after that accident from USA and in Spain, ever since 2003, every single year, my friends, we have wildfires here. And guess what? The wildfires from 2003 were not set ablaze in a typical, cigar, something that nowadays happens by accident. No, in 2003 they were set ablaze by bombs. Yes, they set bombs on grass areas, um, high vegetation spots to which the firefighters could hardly reach, and then boom, they set everything ablaze. And when the news came in about wildfires, it was already too late. The time they said about wildfires, boom. Oh, okay, Alex. So yeah, it is something that is not easy for me to remember because after the 9/11, it came the Great Fire here, and that's two coincidences that are too connected to the same terrorists that attacked the 9/11 are the same terrorists who set ablaze Portugal. But when did that happen? In 2003, summer 2003. I do remember it was at that time, and it was before my birthday, so it was around July to August. I do remember seeing that because, well, I was awake and I saw things up close. And yeah, I do remember that either one of those events from 9/11 or the summer 2003, people were talking. Okay, allow me to share some thoughts about it. People were talking about 9/11 in here in Portugal at the school when I when well when I came to school. Everyone was saying, "Oh, did you saw what was happening on the news? Oh my gosh, those planes hitting the towers and everything." That is when I realized that it was not CGI. It was not a movie. It was real. And then I began to realize that, hey, maybe that was real. And maybe the people I saw there panicking and everything was not acting, was actually something real happening in real life. And I began to investigate. Of course, back in the day, I was a geek with, I still am, with technology and all. And I went to my school's desktop searching about the news. Of course, at the time, again, they didn't have any new updates about it. Not much like nowadays. Nowadays we have a lot of info that we didn't know back then. Um, but the few info that they managed to gather and share it with Portugal managed me to it managed to make me open my eyes and see that it was real, it was serious, and people were dying at the time, and people were panicking, and I began to worry. That's when I began to worry, and that's when people at my school they began to talk about it. Of course, until uh, the director of the school um, prevented us to speak of such scene because that would cause a riot, and of course we or a strike at the school. We didn't want that, and that's why after a few days of whispering, murmuring, it died there. Didn't go any further. That is until 2003, when the Great Flames came in Portugal, with explosions happening from north to south, causing huge flames that can only be as equal as those you see in California nowadays. They began to link this attack to the one that happened in September in your country, and to another attack that happened in Spain just a few months after 9/11. That's where everyone began to talk more about 9/11. The reason why Portugal began to have more investigations, more talking about the situation happening in USA came from the flames of 2003, of that summer of 2003. So it is all connected. These memories that I have, they all they're just as real as yesterday's, and um, and that's what happens when you have a really good memory. Is that you can recall the best moments of your life, but also you can recall the most tragic ones of your life ever. And these ones were quite strong. I'm still trying myself not to cry because it's not that I don't want to cry. I want to cry because I felt bad not just for the people of my country, but also for the people who still suffer from the haunting memories of 9/11. But I think that people should reconciliate, should reconciliate. And to end this record, which is a live stream, I have to do it really soon because I got someone here interrupting me, and that someone needs my attention right away. And I want you all to know that what happened in the past must stay in the past. And let's hope that such horrors do not repeat itself. Without furthermore, I will bring better news, happier ones, on the next live stream. Take care, guys. Stay safe. And until then, peace. Thank you so much for staying here. Thank you so much for listening to these memories. And let's not forget that what happened in 9/11 stays in 9/11. Take care.